we discovered that the unidentified laser weapon is a long-range offensive weapon codenamed Excalibur. We believe it to be a Belkin anti-aircraft defense chemical laser weapon, developed as a missile defense system. According to our information, the strike zone is heavily guarded by a jamming facility and multiple anti-aircraft artillery units. Your objective is to destroy Excalibur. But to do that, you must first neutralize the jamming facility and the anti-aircraft artillery. Considering the importance of your target to the enemy, I'm afraid there's no way to avoid casualties from enemy resistance. In light of this, we've called in reinforcements for this mission. Work together with them to achieve the mission objectives.
We can even see it from here. Good job.
Yes! We did it! The sword has been pulled from the stone. It was Lucio's flight lever. Right on! Now that's what I call teamwork. Cypher, you hear that warm welcome? It's the sweet sound of victory. Not bad for a group of misfits, huh? Well done!
All planes, job well done. PJ, don't get too excited and crash, buddy.
Yeah!
Although we didn't discover any nuclear facilities, Excalibur is no longer a threat. This can be considered a substantial victory for our side. Head Operations has recognized you as an indispensable component in this war, and expresses their utmost gratitude and respect. Orders have come in for an emergency sortie. A major air engagement is taking place as we speak between Belka and the Allied forces near the border, in the B-7R airspace, which Belka is committed to defend at all costs. B-7R, commonly known as the Round Table, has long been a symbol of Belka's political, military, and industrial might. However, at noon today, along with its lightning-quick commencement of Operation Battle Axe, the Allied forces officially announced the permanent abrogation of its non-aggression treaty at the Assembly of Nations, and simultaneously attacked B-7R with a massive fighter squadron. This mission may be our chance to finally end the Belkan War once and for all. I wish you luck.
Dive into the fireworks. I've never been in an aerial battle of this scope before. Where's the support? All damaged aircraft return to base. Still no reinforcements from base. If only they get here, we can put an end to this all at once. Another plane's been shot down. The round table's nothing special. I'll take care of things. Our support's here. Who did they send us? IFF has confirmed it's gone. The reinforcement team is gone. The guy who pulled out Talberg's sword is here. Be careful. We've still got to get the job done. I'll put that Lucio mercenary in his place. team. This battle is getting out of hand. Stay alert at all times.
Column 1, missile evaded.
Watch out, the enemy's tracking you on radar. I taught you how to fly. The rest is up to you. Damn the Phantom. I guess looks can be deceiving.
Missile evaded.
Go to Block 2. Missile off target. Watch out, the enemy's tracking you on radar. You got an enemy missile heading your way, buddy. I missed. I can't believe how quick they are. I missed.
Warning, the enemy's locked onto you. Missile hit.
Bail out.
The bandits are out of formation. Now's your chance.
He's fighting clean. I'll show him he's only digging his own grave. Another aircraft? Push on it now. Demon of Lucio. So that pilot is the Demon Lord? Fox 2.
Bandits in gun range. Column 1, just a few missiles left in reserve.
Fox 2. I'll shake him off.
Missile hit.
Watch out, the enemy's locked onto you. Don't lose sight of those enemy wingmen.
Warning, the enemy's locked onto you.
Fox 2, Fox 2. I missed. Fox 2.
Locked on. Column 1, missile evaded. Missed.
The enemy looking at climb to higher altitude. Welcome. Missile off target.
Bandits in gun range. Missile warning.
Damn it!
Approaching gun range. Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar.
Fox 2, Fox 2. Yeah, Cypher just bagged a bandit. The demon report of the round table.
All targets within combat airspace are down. Operation complete.
Yo, buddy, you still alive?
We were victorious in the B-7R engagement. The round table is finally toppled. According to our reports, the pilot in the F-4E that you engaged was an Academy-trained ace. It won't be long now before we win this war.
My pulse raced at the astounding accomplishments of the mercenary known as Demon Lord. I forgot about my job and read everything I had on hand. Around the time Demon Lord received his nickname, South Belka showed signs of weariness regarding the war. Because the region was set up as a defense line to protect the birthplace of Belka in the north, the people's dissatisfaction had reached a climax. The cities declared themselves demilitarized and peacefully surrendered to the Allied forces. Unable to establish a defensive position, the Belkan army kept retreating to the north. The end of the war was fast approaching. I was given an opportunity to interview the former aces of the Belkan Air Force. Back then, they were the masters of the sky, and they had also known him. So I crossed the border to follow his trail. I wanted to capture the war and the Demon Lord from their point of view, to capture the voices of those who were there. Bernard Schmidt, a man with the eyes of an owl. Groom Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force. 10th Air Division, 8th Tactical Fighter Squadron. Fighting with distinguished service on the battlefield, he earned the title of Ace with his uncanny ability to adapt quickly to the flow of battle.
I had a bad feeling while I was flying towards the round table. Why were they having problems down in 2 mercenaries? I figured it was just temporary chaos and it'd be over by the time I got there. Pilots of the Belkan Air Force are true professionals, but when I saw the situation, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought maybe my IFF was malfunctioning. There were still 2 enemies on the radar. Everyone else in my squadron had the same reaction. This is really happening. Every now and then, guys like that appear on a battlefield. Someone special, you know. I squint in my eyes and confirm the situation. Check the terrain, air currents, his plane, his maneuvers, and his remaining ammo. I figured I could do it. I knew what I was getting into, but he still outmaneuvered me beyond my expectation.
Gelb Teams Number 2, former member of the Belkan Air Force. 5th Air Division, 23rd Tactical Fighter Squadron. Rainer Altman. He flew the skies of Directus during the capital's liberation, and he's still there to this day.
I met him above this very sky. I can still hear the sound of the missile alerts from that day. I received an order to fly to Directus on my way back from an intercept mission on the southern defense line. The order itself wasn't unusual. We kept being deployed from one mission to the next without receiving even the basic maintenance. But the situation was the same all around. We were late reaching the operational space. The station squadrons had already retreated, and warning bells were going off in the city. And the people were looking up to his plane, high above the sky. I couldn't see any emotion in his maneuvers. I didn't feel like I was fighting against a human being. I wanted to end that battle as quickly as possible.
Silver Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 51st Air Division, 126th Tactical Fighter Squadron. Dietrich Kellerman. He was once the top ace at Belka and a fiery instructor at the Air Force Academy. In 1995, the Belkan Air Force sent him to the front lines to bolster troop morale.
He was good. From what I'd heard about him, I thought he was still just a young mercenary. But he matured since then. He still wasn't perfect, but I could see he had come a long way towards understanding the rules of combat. What's important on the battlefield is to let go of hate, to survive, and to adhere to the rules you've set for yourself. These are the rules I've taught my students. And when I saw him, I could tell my time was done. A new generation had inherited the sky. There was no more need for an old soldier like me.
Every time I flew with him, his skill stood out. He was unstoppable. He was cool-headed and proud. A combat professional. Demon Lord fit him perfectly. Maybe the man was blessed by the goddess of war. Before long, everyone had taken notice of him. More and more would show up to watch him go off on sortie. Mercenaries or maintenance crew, it didn't matter. People wanted to burn his image to their memories. Hell, they weren't the only ones.